Yeah, Mark, your shameless self promotion is really knows no bounds there, does it? You're now you've got movie posters up
hmm
behind you.
Yeah, my
Goodness.
books over here. Yeah, I should probably put my books over here, movies, or all kinds of stuff. Yeah, why not?
Gotta get that belly out. Slap it.
Slap that belly.
I'm losing my belly. I wanted to tell you guys.
Maybe throw some
Oh, you
bologna
can't
at
lose.
it.
You can't
The
lose.
good-
Yeah,
Your head's still huge,
Right.
though.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's never
Massive.
going to change.
Yeah, that's never
That's
gonna.
That's never going to change.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mike, how are you? Oh,
there
we
it
go.
is. There it is.
How you doing,
Yeah.
Mike?
How's it going?
What is going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
Thank you so much for being on our show, man. It is really nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's
Yeah, no
our
problem.
pleasure.
Nice little rack of axes you got behind you there. Very nice.
Oh, yeah. It's years of, I don't know, there's a story behind every single one of them. So
Excellent.
I think at some point I'm going to do like a YouTube video and explain all of them and how they came to be here in my possession and stuff like that. There's a lot
That'd
of
be
stories.
great.
We might
Love
have you. We
stories.
might have you answer some of those questions tonight. We might ask
Maybe
about them.
Pull
All
one
right.
down and tell us a story.
Yeah,
maybe.
just one of them anyway. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I have to bring mine. I got a flying V. There's nothing interesting to it. I bought it for $125, but it's got some Britney Spears and Spice Girl stickers on it. So
What do you
Oh,
know?
know?
boy.
Right there.
exactly. Yeah. $125 came with a distortion pedal and a strap.
You can't beat that. That's a great deal.
Yeah, it's an Antares. Yeah, I had to look them up. Like, where the fuck are these from? But yeah, Mike, I got it. It all needs to be revamped. But one day, it's my goal: get the pots changed, all the electronics, get a new fretboard, get new saddle, everything. It's gonna
Tape
look
more smoke bombs to it.
Yes. Yeah, I got all the Spice Girls, well, the ones I like anyway, and then a nice Britney Spears. Baby Spice, Ginger Spice, Scary Spice. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, great. You prefer Mike to Michael? What would you prefer?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Either or is fine.
Okay, cool.
I answer to a lot of other things other than that. too.
Okay. We'll try and keep it civil, So we're just glad to spend some time with you. And if you want, we will do our cheesy intro and we will get right into it if you want.
Yeah, let's rock and roll, man.
All right, sounds good.
Cheesy intro. Roll it.
You're listening to Heavy Metal Horror. This is Vanek of Vanek and Midnight and Vandalus and many others. See you soon.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, this is Chop Top, and this is Heavy.
And Dreadbull.
Wildcard.
And you are watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Oh, kitties. Tonight, we have a great show. Very special guest, Michael Gilbert, shredder for Flotsam and Jetsam. Yeah, we can't fucking believe it either. So, Michael, welcome to Heavy Metal Horror, man.
Oh man, thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and hang out with you guys and chat about some Flotsam stuff and whatever else we can come up with.
Excellent. Well, we've got a lot of questions for you, so I hope you brought a sandwich and ready for the long haul.
A pillow.
Exactly. It's time for a Flotsam and Jetsam slumber party. Well, you had mentioned just a moment ago that you have stories for all these guitars. And now I know you want to do your YouTube video, and I don't want to take your thunder, but could you maybe give us the story behind one of those guitars? Any one that you would like to pick?
You know what? The one I'm using now, it's actually, you can't see it. It's down here. It's my ESP. I've been playing these things for about 2 or 3 years now, and this is like the perfect utility guitar for me. It travels well. It's small, and it plays and sounds great. So I'm sold on ESP right now. That's almost exclusively what I'm using. So this is one of my latest in the ESP lines right here. It's not a
Nice.
7-string. Can I cuss?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay. I am a lazy motherfucker. So the bar, I don't, whenever I'm touring and stuff like that, I don't like to deal with any of that stuff. I just want to strap the thing
String
up and
through
get
for
on
life.
stage.
String through for life. That's the way to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
if it's too much maintenance, like when we're touring anyway, it's not what I have all day. So I have all day to
Right.
like really, if I did have a bar, I can adjust it. But those precious 10 minutes, I can drink a beer.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
priorities.
Nice. Excellent. Well, I guess we'll start with some big picture questions, Michael. Like, where did your love of music come from?
Oh, that's my family. My mom and dad, when I grew up, they always listened, and I didn't realize what an impact like 60s and 70s music would have on me. But I hated it at the time, but it was almost like being brainwashed in a good way, in a positive way, because music like that is just not made anymore. And I'm so
Right.
thankful that my parents, whenever I came home from school, that was always playing on the stereo system, and that's actually what I listen to now. When I get home off of a tour, I listen to Sirius XM, like yacht rock and 70s on 7 and stuff like that. And I kind of shy away from the metal stuff because a lot of that lately sounds the same to me, and it's becoming kind of monotonous in some ways. But music always cycles, and so that'll go away, and something new is going to happen here pretty soon. I think it's on the verge of something else new coming out.
Hmm. What were some of those bands that you grew up listening to? I mean, all of us, I think most of us grew up in musical households as well. My dad listened to everything from like Johnny Cash to the Ventures to, Creedence. So, I mean, and all those influence, I can't overestimate how important all that music was. So what were some of the music that you remember being in that household that you really didn't like at the time, but now you're like, yeah, that was great music?
We used to go on these trips. I lived in California with my parents, Southern California, so we'd always go to San Felipe, Mexico, and we had a motorhome with a 8-track cassette player.
Oh, nice.
So it was Gordon Lightfoot and it was James Taylor, almost exclusively. So I didn't realize how great James Taylor was until I actually sat down and tried to play some of what he plays on guitar. And the guy's an amazing guitar player. It's just incredible. I had to tap out on it, because my finger picking skills are nothing like that guy. That guy is definitely a god of acoustic guitar and songwriting. So stuff like that, like Sweet Baby James, we'd be down in Mexico and I'd listen to that stuff. And it was just, when I hear it, it just brings back like huge emotions and stuff like that from me growing up, and that is the power of music. Even music now, I don't realize it, but 10 years from now, I'm going to have emotions from what's out there right now, because that's just the power and effect of it. There was a music instructor when I was going to college that told me music is the closest thing you'll ever be to God on this planet. And I believed it ever since then, because I mean, such control and such power, it's just,
Right.
I don't know.
True.
In a positive way and in negative ways too. Sometimes it can make you cry, sometimes it can make you like super happy.
Sure.
Right.
That's a part of it, part of the power of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, Flotsam's music makes me want to run straight with my head first to a wall because it just gets me all pumped up.
Uh,
Yeah, that does that to all of us. So we can all have stories about that.
sometimes that's what you want, though. That's the
Yeah,
mood you're in,
exactly. Right. That's the thing.
You want to get pumped up and aggressive, and yeah.
Yeah, but you're let's not play like Flots doesn't have emotional songs as well, and Mike's been present for some of those releases that do have very, very deep songs. I think that you guys are grossly underappreciated. I may have said that the first time we met.
Absolutely.
And I think that there's much more to you guys than just a thrash band, just an aggressive thrash band. Which, don't get me wrong, my favorite Flot songs are the ones that make me want to run through walls. But I'm just I got to throw it out there that there's a lot more depth to the band than I think people realize. you know, and I'm on albums like Drift and such, you know. So, and again,
Quattro,
I'm fuzzy. I know there's a chunk of the discography that you weren't present for, right? At least a couple albums.
Yeah, there's
That,
a couple records I stepped out for, like right
yeah.
after the High record. I wasn't on board with High, you know, the name of it
Okay.
and stuff like that. It was, and then our management, we had issues with management, and I
Okay.
had to tap out. I was like, you know what, this is my baby, but man, these people have too much control of what's up. And then I thought it was really cheesy on that record how if you flip it over and look at the song titles are all like in font from
The
other bands.
logos. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, this looks really cheesy and lame, guys. I can't get on board with it. So
Yeah.
at that time, you know, and I had some personal stuff going on too. At that time, I was like, well, everything's adding up for me to step out for a little bit, you know.
Right.
So I
That
did.
actually answers one of my questions. I was going to ask you about that because I know that you're one of the fixtures in the band from day one. So
Yeah, I joined the band like I think the first song that I wrote with the band was "I Live You Die," which is
oh
ended up becoming on Metal Blade on their compilations and stuff
yeah,
like that. It did extremely well for us, and you know, it was just starting to go a little bit of a different direction during that High record too. You know, where
right.
yeah, it's like okay, and I hated to do it. So it's my baby. It's like sorry, it's like somebody banging my girlfriend. You know what I mean? When Mark Simpson came in and taken over
Yeah.
my guitar spots, I was like, okay, Mark's a great guitar player, but it's like somebody banging my girlfriend.
Yeah, right, right.
But you know, when you come back, you realize that other guy didn't have as big a dick as yours. So, you know,
That's-
you're like, Daddy's home, right?
Well,
Can you?
I think it's interesting to
Oh, go
bring
ahead.
up-
Sorry, Chop. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think it's interesting to bring up High because there seemed to be like almost like a stylistic shift also in the musical direction around that time for Flots. Now, I mean, you guys have knocked it out of the park in the last, I mean, gosh, 10 years or whatever. I mean, the releases are so solid, especially last release, 2021 Blood in the
Yeah.
Water is just a burner. And yeah, so I want to get your impression. Michael, did you feel that there was a stylistic shift as well during that period?
Yeah, for a lot of years, it seems like we've been trying to find who we were. The first two records that came out, we were real solid on who we were. But after Jason left, we started going through some different lineup changes, and things kind of just went a little bit haywire, you know. And we were, you know, Drift was a good experiment. Quattro was a good experiment. Drift was even more experimental. Then there are some great songs and it was great production. And then after that, like we all just kind of just like separated. I mean, I don't know what happened, but the chemistry wasn't for me. The chemistry wasn't there. You
Right.
know? With the other members that were coming in, I guess it probably was, but it just wasn't there for me until Ugly Noise when Kelly and I came back.
It's a fucking fantastic record.
And
Yeah.
oh, thanks. And it was an experiment. You know, I had all these songs written before we actually did the record. You know, that's what I was doing in my spare time. Was still writing, but and when I presented it to everybody, it was kind of the stepping stone to come back. You know, and then. And you know, I've said this a few times in some other interviews. Like, if I was to give somebody like something to listen to, if they're like, okay, I don't know who your band is, where do I start? I would say start from Blood in the Water. You know, that I think is that's my favorite record that we've ever done. The energy and the anger, there's tons of emotion in it. I would say start there and work your way back. Go to the End of Chaos and then the self-titled, and then I would go back to 1985 to Doomsday, you know, and then start moving forward after that. Because there's a couple that I'm not happy with. There's some mixes and some remasters that I would really love to redo to get out there.
Right.
You know, the third record, When the Storm Comes Down, I can't listen to it. You know, it just sounds like the production part of it. It sounds like 5 different guys playing in 5 different places on the earth, and they're just completely separated.
It's still awesome, man. Don't feel bad. I know, you know, you're your own worst critic. I know that. I get that. I know what that's like, but it's fucking fantastic. I think that was a hard scene to break through too, given you guys were technically considered second wave of the whole thrash movement. So you know, I don't know. I don't know what the disconnect there was, but you guys you've always had one of my all-time favorite vocalists too, which again, you know, a lot of people care. A lot of people put the weight of a band on the vocalist themselves. And it's like, how you guys didn't, you should have been hanging with all the Titans of the time, because fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. But I know you don't like High, but I got to throw out that I absolutely love the Lard cover. Fork Boy has always been a staple. I bought the
A lot
album
of
when
energy.
I realized that was a cover. I was in San Antonio playing a gig, and I bought that record, that Lard record, because you guys covered Fork Boy. So I mean, that was still cool. But I mean, I see what you're saying too. Like I never understood that. I was like, I don't understand why these are all band logos.
Goes back here, but it is what it is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Montag.
No, I said, Vic, your audio just popped. a little bit.
Am I cutting out? Am I back?
No, it's just huge and distorted.
You got super
You got,
loud
your
again.
mic's got BDE, man. It's
Oh
just-
man, is it better now?
Keep on going down.
Check.
Go
Check.
down.
It's
still
got to be a.
distorted.
It's got to be a
distorted.
bad cable. Hang on.
Can you
How about
talk
now?
Farther
That's
away
okay.
from the microphone.
How about now?
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Good.
decent.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still. a
Yeah,
little-
sorry, I'm
hot.
struggling with some bad cable stuff over here, man. They just decided to go out like this week. It stopped working. I got better internet down here, and now I've got a new problem with cables.
Well, your
Now
your
we're-
mic possessed by demons, so and how
Yeah,
There we go, right.
yeah, right.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to blow anybody's eardrums out.
No, that's good. Did you want to finish your
I'm-
thought?
Oh no, that was it. That was
Okay,
it.
cool.
I was going to go back to what Wildcard had stated about, there's a lot of songs that Flots does, a lot of emotion. They don't give a lot of attention. Like, for instance, Cry for the Dead off the recent release is just absolutely beautiful and epic. And it's one of my favorites off the new one as well. And obviously, it's talking about the pandemic era and stuff and people we've lost along the way and whatnot. But yeah, you guys don't get enough credit, that's for sure. I agree with Wildcard.
Oh, thanks.
And those kind of more, those deeper cuts and some of the depth
Right.
and emotion.
Yeah, there was this when we were listening to this record back and we were writing it. Ken calls me up. He's like, "Dude, everything is like 100 miles an hour. The gas pedals to the floor." He's like, "We need something epic. We need something like Doomsday, Doomsday for the Deceiver." That song off the first record, the title track. And so I'm like, "All right." And I haven't written anything like that since 1985. So I started writing something, and Cry for the Dead came out. And I don't think it sounds anything epic or anything like that, but it turned out to be a super emotional song for all of us. And it had like a lot of elements where it wasn't just a song, it was a little more than that to us all. And I don't know, it's hard to explain some of the stuff that AK was going through and, what we were all going through. And the pandemic definitely had something to do with it, So, and it is one of my favorite songs on the record too.
Excellent.
Nice. Do you remember the very first song you ever played on guitar? Like the first song you ever learned?
Bourbon Street.
Oh, nice.
Hold on a second, this guitar right here. Since we're bringing all this stuff up, on this guitar.
Nice.
And there's a story behind this one too. This thing was my mom actually knew she knew I was looking to play guitar, and she had worked at Kmart in her younger days. And this was $20. It was less than $20, and she picked it up and brought it home for me. And it's out of key right now. Something like that. It's called Bourbon Street though. That was the name of the song.
Nice.
And I would just plug into like my dad's reel-to-reel tape recorder, and that was the amp I was using. Sounded like total dog shit, but it didn't matter. It was loud. It was obnoxious, and that's the only thing I knew. And I know I terrorized my parents with that song, playing it 450
Do you think she regretted that purchase?
Yeah, she's like, I gotta take that thing back.
I'll get you something quiet like a drum set. Yeah. Nice. Well, you've had a long career. Obviously, you must have met many times some of your musical heroes. Can you talk about some of the people you've met and what that was like for you as a fan?
It's okay. So like one of the first like people that I met when we first started touring, was of course Dave Mustaine. That was the first real tour that we ever went on, and meeting that guy, you see pictures of him and stuff like that, you hear interviews and stuff, but when you actually get in a room with him and you talk to him, this dude is larger than life, and he's super intelligent, super smart guy. and he just captivates you, the first time I was in New York City, I met Joey Ramone, and I didn't know what to say. I mean, I was like, and I'm like, what, 5'5", and he's like 25 feet tall, he's a
He's very tall. Yep.
and then the other, I got starstruck with Brooks and Dunsinger, Dunn. I met him in Vegas. Same thing.
Mhm.
I mean, the guy wrote Neon Moon, Boot Scoot and Boogie. Some extremely popular songs. So it's not just because he's a country star, or it's the respect thing. I got respect
Right.
for this guy. Like,
Yeah.
wow, what he did is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah. Oh, he's a super nice guy. I saw him down in Louisville ages ago. They had this thing called 4th Street Live, where they have just pull up a semi bed, like a flat bed, and then they put the stage on top of that, and they perform in the middle of the street, which is amazing. And so every Friday night they had new artists, and so I didn't know he was in there. I'm like, oh, it's Kicks Done. Oh, that's pretty cool. And he was so nice with the audience. He was like talking with people, and you could just tell that he loved being there, and he was really genuine. And that's one thing I was really impressed, because I didn't know a lot of their music. It was an entertaining show, but I was really came away respecting that he loved the fans and he just liked being around them. So that was pretty cool.
You know more of his music than you think, because if you listen to the hits, if you bought like a greatest hits, you'd be like, oh, I know. Oh, wow, I know all the words on every song. What the hell?
Okay.
Right.
Nice. So your time with Dave Mustaine and the other people that you have met as fans, has that influenced how you respond or react to fans who come up to you and want a few minutes of your time?
Absolutely. I think Dave Mustaine is really good about this. At least he has been around me. Like, he always took a few minutes for no matter who. It doesn't matter if somebody's interested. You just do it. I mean, I don't understand the guys that don't do it. What's going through your head, because these are the people that appreciate what you do and keep you alive. And someone's like genuinely interested in what you're doing. I think that's pretty cool. I always make time if someone wants to talk to me, I'll make time. I'll have a beer with them or whatever.
Nice. And you come on podcasts like ours, so we're grateful. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's funny you mentioned, like, meeting these guys, and then you're just like, you're just awestruck by it. When we got to see Bruce Dickinson when he was doing his solo stuff, we in Cleveland, a small venue, and we went and got something to eat after the show, and when we were coming back, their tour bus was parked out front, and their little crowd there, and they waved us in. They said, hey, if you want to meet the guys, and Adrian Smith was with them at that time, and like, come in and meet them. And I just remember, going up to Bruce, we got to go up and talk to him. He signed some of our shit, and I had something prepared in my brain to say to him, and it just came out it was incoherent. I don't even know what I said. It was.
You asked him the prom. I think you asked him the prom.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
He turned me down gracefully, at least. But
I sat down with Adrian Smith and had a drink with him, and I was just like, for 15 minutes listening to him talk. He goes, "Oh, you want to have a drink, mate? Sit down and have a chat." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, yeah, forget about it.
Yeah, you just get dumbstruck, and
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of nice to hear those kinds of stories from people, who are in your position, that you're still fans of somebody. We're all fans of somebody. We all get awestruck, and we love that. That's just kind of awesome that you're still a fan, first and foremost.
Yeah, if you lose that, then I think I'm gonna lose my edge as a songwriter. I'm always a fan of metal. I don't always listen to it, but like, before we write a record, that's what I do. It's almost like an athlete training. Like, he's got to get the game face going on. He's got to get toned up to do what his job is. So that's pretty much like the other guitar player, Steve Conley, and I. We we'll get together and start trading metal. What we're listening to, because we're getting the game face on, and it's time to take care of some business. We got to write some metal riffs, and that's actually what we're doing right now. We've had enough of a hiatus with the COVID stuff, and we, sitting at home, and we're ready to go. We released Blood in the Water, and we never even got to tour it, so we still have some work to do on that, and we're still starting to write another record at this point. So
along those lines with the touring, I had a question for you, Michael, about after all these years and these releases, how is it? Has it been real difficult to change the set list, or who votes kind of the whole band gets a vote on what's played? And of course, you're going to have the classic sort of fan favorites one, but is that become more difficult, or how does that, is a democracy? How does that work when you?
Yeah, it is difficult because I kind of gauge things on Europe is a little bit ahead of us as far as like the metal scene and stuff like that. So if they're grasping onto something, it's only a matter of time before it's going to start getting grasped on here too in the United States. And it's always been like that since metal, since metal started, basically. So, we wrote these last 3 records, and we keep thinking, nobody cares about the new stuff anymore. They just want to hear the classic stuff. But that wasn't the case. The last 4 or 5 times we were in Europe, they want to hear stuff off the newer records, which were like kind of our jaws dropping, like, okay. And now they want to hear stuff off of Blood in the Water, which is, it's freaking us all out because now we have there's more new songs on our set than there is classic stuff. There's a couple that we have to do, otherwise people just get pissed. And like we have to do Hammerhead and No Place for Disgrace, have to, where people get mad. And I would rather I don't want to hear that. I want to hear people happy,
Right.
Yeah, you're always going to hear that, no matter how long a band can play. Like I've been to Rush shows, which have been 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I'm walking away. I'm just thinking, my God, I just witnessed this amazing show. And you'll always hear someone walking out like, oh, but they didn't play this song. I'm like, Jesus, man, they played 2 hours and 40 minutes. What the fuck do you want?
They got 1,000 songs.
Exactly. They can't play the whole discography. Yeah.
Unless you're Motorhead, then you can play your whole discography.
Right.
It's got to be refreshing though to have a demand for your new stuff, and you don't have to just rehash old tunes. You get to play that new stuff more, than what you thought.
It is, but things are different too. Like when we did our first 3 records, first 4 records, we had a rehearsal studio, where 5 nights a week, sometimes 7 nights a week, we're rehearsing. So like we'd bang these songs out every night. It was like a machine. And the way stuff is now, there's no rehearsal until just before the tour. We write these songs and we send them to each other via email and Dropbox and stuff like that. And we put it together. So we don't know really how they're gonna flow live, which is scary. Because we did when you're in a rehearsal studio with the rest of your band guys, you can feel the energy. Just feel it. And it's not like that now. So when we go play these songs, we're ready there's another one in line in case it doesn't work out live, one of my favorite songs, that I love to play, is a song that we do called Swatting at Flies. And it's like the same tempo as Inner Sandman, but for whatever reason, nothing happens when we play that song live. So we have to drop it, we're trying to cater to what everybody wants to hear and keep up the energy in the show. Nobody wants to go to a metal show and go, this song, I think I'm going to go get a hot dog now while these guys are playing. Fuck that. You want their attention, you want them engaged, you want them in the pit, and you want to keep them happy, so
that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm sorry, so you kind of got to go in cold now and refine your set list over time just based on how things are going.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that is a little scary.
It is, but then if one doesn't work out, then we just play one of the classics and it comes right back. But we're just trying to get out of that because so many years, we've been a band for 35 years playing the same classic songs, but we've had a bunch of playlists that are keeping Blood in the Water in the top 5, so I know people want to hear those songs. So Cry for the Dead is one that we definitely we're putting in the set for sure. We'll see how that goes live. It's a pretty depressing song.
But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful melody. It's haunting too. So excellent.
Are you your albums are just so they're just getting heavier and heavier. Like it seems, you got to maintain that core sound. But are you intentionally going for like a heavier sound with each album, or is this something that's just kind of organically happening, within you as a songwriter, within the band itself?
Yeah, I don't get to pick like how heavy it is. Whatever translates. Whenever I start writing, that's how it comes out. And I think Steve's the same way. I did try to write. I love AC/DC. I'm a huge AC/DC fan. So a few years ago, I tried to write a 3 or 4 chord song, and that was amazingly difficult. I couldn't do it. I couldn't
Mhm.
finish the song. That's just not. That's not how I write. But when I do
Right.
write, it comes out. It's very angry, and it's usually very dark. And that's the only way I know how to do it.
That's your creative process. You know, you gotta go with what is natural for you, you know? Yeah. But to achieve what you've achieved, requires a huge amount of motivation and determination. So what motivated you in your early career, and have your motivations changed over the years?
Oh, that's a great question. Uh, the motivation, there's a couple of them. There's girls, there's shows, but all that takes a serious a back seat compared to playing a live show. Like that is, I've never done drugs or anything like that, but I can imagine that is going to be way better than any drug that's out there. The high you get from it's pure energy. So that's what drives us to do it now. But there's always constraints. There's always monetary constraints, especially these days. It's getting worse. Things have changed. Now they have pay to play bands where you have to buy onto a tour. And I know that's been going on for a long time. But when we were coming up, that was unheard of. We would just go out because somebody liked us. Like Dave Mustaine, when we went out on tour,
Right.
they weren't like, hey, man, you got to give us $25,000. They were like, fuck, you guys are our friends. Let's go have some fun, And then we were on a tour with them.
Right.
So that kind of stuff has changed. And now, I guess to answer the second part of your question, what's driving me and what are my goals, kind of, I guess. And it's like, I don't know. To just stay relevant, I think, in the business and in what we do, and stay true to what we do.
Excellent. So
You talk about like that energy, that live energy, and are there any particular gigs that you remember that were very memorable, that had that energy that really stick in your mind?
Yeah, unfortunately, that happened here with our hometown crowd. We were touring with Hammerfall, and we were support for Hammerfall, and just the crowd response for us was pretty amazing. We didn't expect that at all, and oh man, that was one of those shows. And then when we got off the stage, Hammerfall, the singer, was like, "Oh man, you guys fucking own this place tonight," and it's like. Yeah, we did, but we don't want to do that to you guys, but it's our hometown crowd.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah. Have other musicians, musicians reached out to you and told you how much your music has meant to them or influenced them? And if so, how has that made you feel?
That freaks me out because I can't even imagine that I influence somebody, but it's the highest honor you can get, like someone's telling you this stuff, and especially kids these days. I've heard it from a few kids that, oh, hey, your solos are a huge influence on me, and some other people in the business. Jim Root said I was one of his influences, because I play all my leads with the toggle switch flipped up, and I use the neck pickup, and he's like, yeah, dude, that's why I do it now, from your old sound. And so it is the highest award when someone says, I've been influenced by your playing.
It's great. Do you prefer playing like smaller, intimate venues or larger arenas? Like from a fan's point of view, those being so close to the band is really fantastic, but I can understand the thrill of playing, in front of a stadium crowd. But what's it like from a band's point of view, from your point of view, or maybe you like them both?
Both are equal. The big stadium shows or the big venues, you don't get that the energy and the anger, the sweat, and it's just different. And a lot of times there's 50 feet between the stage and the people, and that's a huge disconnect when you can't. As I like to touch people and fist bump them or whatever, tip them with the front of my guitar. And you can't do that in some of the bigger venues. And the smaller venues, when you do that, they freak out. And that's why we do it, is because they freak out on it, and it's cool. So both.
Yeah.
That question is both. I like both of them.
Sure. Well, yeah, totally. From the fan, having that moment of connection is so important from a fan's point of view. Just that moment, whether it's you yell something at them and they yell back at you, or that, touch them, talking to them, waving to them, that's why you come see the band. Like, oh fuck, they noticed me. Like, I'm here for them, and they singled me out. So I totally get how that would make people crazy. Like, yeah, this, because it feeds on that energy.
Yeah,
And
when
it-
you can make eye contact with a guy up there playing guitar or singing or something, and feel that connection, there's nothing like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, you see him singing the words along with you, and yeah, that's a good connect for sure.
Nice.
I once made Dave Lombardo look down and shake his head.
You slap your belly at him too?
No. Grip Inc. was playing down in Cleveland, and we were just between songs. I mean, Dave's one of my favorite drummers, and I just remember yelling, "Dave, I love you. I want to have your baby." And he just kind of like, oh, I'm like, yeah, he noticed me,
He shook his head
Shook
just
his
like
head.
my mom does all the time.
Exactly. Another person shaking her head in disgust at me. Yes, thank you, Dave. We're talking about the festival atmosphere. Which festivals do you like to playing at most, and do you get to enjoy those as a fan as well, or is it all like we gotta show up, we play the gig, and we leave, or can you like hang out and like enjoy these other bands?
I try to do that as much as I can. Like we do these shows over in Europe, these big festivals, and there's everybody's playing, so I try to watch as much of it as I can while we're there. But for me to hang out in the crowd, they see this is like they recognize this right away, and so I always end up hanging out with people and start drinking beer. Next thing you know, I'm not paying attention to the bands. We're doing other stuff, and yeah. So I try to watch the bands as much as I can, for sure.
That's cool. Do you have a favorite food to eat on the road?
Oh, I have a favorite beer.
Okay, let's hear about that.
La Trappe. I love La Trappe beer. It's brewed by the monks in Belgium, so it's hard to get here, but you can get it at like Total Wine or something like that. And yeah, it's my favorite beer.
Those bunks, they know what they're doing, man. Those
Yeah, they
Belgian
do.
beers are delicious.
I love the Belgian stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
La Trappe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
Yeah.
Don't drink too many of them. After 3, I mean, definitely make sure you're home by then.
High alcohol content, high gravity, as they would say. Can you share with us like some of maybe like the craziest road story, something that happened on the road, like, Jesus, you will not gonna fucking believe this. Here's what happened to us. You don't have to throw anyone under the bus or get anyone in trouble. We're not trying to do that. We just like hearing these stories, because one thing we love about this show, Michael, is like we're doing things that we never expected to do. I mean, if we had a backstage pass to see you, we would have been gone and out a long time ago. We would have gotten our picture and said hi, got an autograph, and then we'd be gone. So we get to spend time, with these artists like yourself, and we're just like, we just want to know it all. So, but if there's something you don't want to answer, that's okay too, man. We respect you, and we don't want to cause any problems or friction.
Give it the dragnet treatment.
I'm all about the problems and friction. I'm kind of the dick. I'm the dick of the band. And I know a little bit about Photoshop. I've always got a camera with me, and so everybody's a victim around me, and so they try to stay away. But I'm always the guy that's I'm trying to throw my friends under the bus always. Always.
Excellent. Well, then we expect. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Do it now.
This is good. When we're in, it's me and Steve and our ex-bass player Michael Spencer. We're in Spain, right? And we have a day off, so we end up finding a place that's it's a massage place, right? And no, I know, don't go there. It's not one of those types of places. This is a legit place. So we go and we're in separate rooms or whatever, and this girl comes in, gives me a massage. Well, before that, she gives me this. It looked like just a paper bag, and there was holes cut out for your legs. I mean, it was barely covering anything that I had, but I'm like, okay. And it's made out of paper sack, like I shouldn't have said sack, but whatever. Anyway,
Sack on sack.
so I'm done with my massage, right? And she's like, okay, go ahead and get dressed again. And so I've got this thing, the banana hammock thing, right? And there's no garbage can, so I put it into my jacket pocket. And a couple of days later, we were leaving. We're heading to the airport, so I tied that banana hammock thing to the back of Steve's backpack while he's walking through the airport. And we get on the airplane, and he goes to put his luggage over. Over everybody. And he, how there's that stressful factor, right? We've all done it. You stress out a little bit because everybody's watching you. He's kind of stressed, and he puts it up in there. And the only thing that falls down is that banana hammock thing. And he grabs it and he pushes it back up there. He didn't even realize what it was. He's still fucking pissed at me, man.
So he's all pushing on it with his hands.
Nice. There's not enough.
Yeah,
He fucking hates me.
it's brutal, man.
There's not enough anti-back in the world.
Oh man,
Look at
fondled your banana hammock.
Chiquita. Okay. What's in your rider? Like, what are some of the quirky perks and wishes that you have in your rider? Specific foods or drinks? We know your beer, clothing, or do you get like flowers like Mariah Carey? Something. What's in your rider, man?
We are super simple. We don't have Lucky Charms. We don't have milk, cereal, anything like that. A couple of cases of beer or just chips and salsa. We don't care. We're not super crazy about any of that stuff.
All right. Okay. I'm going to ask you a theoretical question here. What I would like you to do is create a super group, not including anyone you've ever performed with. Which 3 or 4 musicians, past or present, alive or dead, would you want to play with?
Oh my God. The drummer right off the bat is going to be Ken Mary. He's our drummer, and he's phenomenal. The guy's a complete beast and a monster of a drummer. So I'd want to play with him for sure. Guitar players, I'm going to go with Randy Rhoads on that one. I mean, are we a 3-piece or 4-piece?
3, you pick it. Yeah, anyone past or present, alive or dead. You pick the super group, man.
Yeah, okay. So it'd be Randy Rhoads, Bon Scott, and on bass, I don't know. Right, I'd probably have to go with a Cliff Williams on that.
All right, excellent.
Like, who am I missing? Saxophone?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you want.
You want Kenny G or
Triangle.
that oily guy, the muscular oiled down guy from the Lost Boys. You might.
Oh yeah.
You can bring him in.
Sax man.
Yeah, Dr. Sax.
Oh, we're back on the sax. Uh-oh.
yeah.
Yes.
This is the Murray sausage episode all over again.
Yep. Bring me our
There's
sausages.
a theme starting to develop here.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice,
So
nice.
many sausage themes.
Are you?
It's a lot of baloney in the last one.
Yes,
Baloney theme.
yeah.
So much meat. It's just
It's a lot of meat.
Meat and
Yeah.
We have
byproducts.
derailed. Excuse us, Michael. We're back on track.
Yeah. Yeah. We won't regale you with all those stories, Michael. We won't bore you. Are you since we are heavy metal horror, are you a horror fan at all?
Not really, not as much as a lot of these guys are. I kind of stopped in the 80s, I guess it would be, because I'm not getting scared or there's some great horror movies. Friday the 13th, I thought the first one was always great. Stuff like that I'm good with, but like the newer stuff, what's the one with the Ring, I think is what it's called.
Ring.
That didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, the original Japanese version is better than the
Yes.
American remakes. Ringu, if you can get that. Okay, cool. What's your favorite Halloween candy? When you were a kid trick or treating, what was your favorite?
Reese's.
Nice.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the correct answer.
pieces or cups. Pieces or cups.
Cups, man.
No,
come
man,
on.
pieces. The peanut
Well,
butter in
pieces are
Reese's
pieces are good. Pieces are good.
I
Don't
thought
get
that
me
went
wrong.
without saying cups. I mean,
No,
that's
man.
not even a debate. You're
No, it
wrong.
is a debate. Reese's Pieces are better than cups because the peanut
Oh.
butter in pieces is different from what's in cups, which makes no fucking sense, but it's true.
It's true.
and it's not as good.
Yeah.
It's way better. So
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah. That's right.
Can
We're
we
gonna have a
silence?
throwdown.
Can you mute him?
Yeah.
Can we mute Wildcard?
Don't worry, my mic will do that in 5
Yeah.
minutes. Just off
This
its
mic's
own
gonna
volition.
melt down. All that shitty cable. That's what you get for paying for $2 cables.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Michael. What would you tell your childhood self about being a professional musician?
Ooh, just I would have said slow down your practicing and work on your technique and your picking hand. I mean, I'm still 30 years plus, 35, almost 40 years playing. I'm still learning, and it just seems like every 6 months I get a setback because I figure out a better way to do it. But you got to practice that. It's like starting over again.
All right.
So
Cool.
I'd say just take it slow and, practice to a metronome. That would be it. Practice to a metronome.
Excellent.
I have a genuine question, and before I forget this, I want to throw this out there. And you don't have to. I'm sure you may have talked about this in previous interviews, and you don't have to answer it, or if you want it edited out, Montag can do this because I don't know how touchy feely this particular subject is. But I've always been curious about the re-recording of No Place for Disgrace. Now I own it, of course, because I'm a fan. I wanted to obviously support you guys and help you through this. And I know that, originally you guys had brought up, re-recording for production reasons, et cetera, et cetera. Is there more to it than that? Is this a label thing? Because I'm speaking from experience myself. I have an album I can't access. And from what I gather, re-recording is one of those means that within the last several years was made legal by the US government or something along those lines. I'm just curious if that played any role in your decision to retrack the album.
Yeah, the production on the first one, there was it was kind of like almost an 80s production in my opinion, and I wanted something a little more in your face, not
Okay.
And so that was the main reason to do it, but also because it's really hard to access. We wanted to do
Right.
some of our past catalog has been difficult for people to get a hold of.
Right.
So
Okay, yeah,
those
that's
are
it.
the main reasons.
Okay. Yeah, I was always curious of that. As like I said, I mean, I figured it was something along the lines of, getting the stuff back out there again or getting some semblance of rights kind of thing. So I think it turned out great. Not too many bands can pull that off. It always seems like I think because Exodus did it with Let There Be Blood. I always question that, but this is different because like everything's still intact on this record. It's just got better production.
Yeah,
AK still sounds fucking great. It's not with Let There Be Blood. Like, I'm sorry, man, you're getting rid of Bailoff's vocals. That's not cool. This nothing's been replaced here besides really production. I mean, maybe there's subtle differences in certain things. I don't know, but I can certainly get behind it. I've always been curious about that though, as a fan.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the only thing that could have been better, it's maybe a little faster in some areas, but we were trying to get the chunking and stuff going on.
Yeah.
And that wasn't on the first go around. So
Sure. Sorry, Montag, you can have the show back now.
No, I'm cool, man. I like this. I mean, I got my questions, but you guys always chime in, Michael, I'm going to name a band. I'm going to go through some bands, and I want you to tell me your favorite album by that band.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you don't know or don't want to answer or don't like the band, that's cool too. We just say it. We'll start with Black Sabbath.
Oh, I like Heaven and Hell. I'm a Dio fan.
Yeah.
I know people will go, no, dude, you're wrong. But I like Black Sabbath when Dio was in there.
Oh, yeah.
Great sound. Judas Priest.
Dreaming for Vengeance.
Halloween.
Not too familiar with the catalog.
Okay. The Beatles.
I hate the Beatles.
Okay. You and Dreadbull. Dreadbull hates the Beatles too.
Give me the Stones.
Hate's a strong word. I wouldn't say hate.
Not a fan.
But
How's
I'm not
that?
a
Is
fan.
that better?
Yeah, that's better.
How about Rush? Are you a fan of Rush?
Oh yeah. Probably Red Barchetta.
Oh, the Moving Pictures then? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's on that record.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's a great album. Opeth.
Yeah, not familiar.
Okay. Are you familiar with Dream Theater?
Yeah.
What album would you say would you be your
I
favorite?
couldn't name an album.
Okay. That's okay, man. It's all right.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
You
know.
edit
call
that
this
out, please.
sweating bullets is what this is going to be called now, man. Everybody gets real like, oh man, I should know this.
We're gonna call
Nah,
this.
don't feel bad.
This is the hot seat segment.
Hot seat. That's great.
The
Um,
sausage seat.
How come my cables aren't going out right now?
yeah, I'll bring it back to some metal for you. How about Iron Maiden?
Oh, Killers.
All right. Testament.
What was their first record?
Legacy.
Legacy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to be called, that used to be their name too.
Right, yeah.
Uh, Yeah, that record right there, because that brings back a bunch of memories for me, doing shows with those guys and stuff.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Well, come on,
We're,
Queensryche.
we're huge
Oh,
Testament
sorry.
fans here on
Sorry.
the show, so that's cool. You've done some shows with those guys. You get to hang out with them and stuff.
Yeah, I was just talking to Chuck Billy a day before yesterday, asking him what's going on. I haven't talked to him for a few years, so it was just
Oh man,
Hey.
yeah. Well, tell them about us.
Yeah. Say, hey, these
Come on,
bastards
man.
want to talk to you, Chuck.
I had the best time of my life on Heavy Metal Boys.
Don't get in the hot seat, whatever you do. Yeah, we'd love to talk with Chuck. That would be awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Queensryche.
the first EP. What was that called?
Queensryche.
It was Queensryche,
just
yeah.
Queensryche,
Has
yeah.
Queen of the Reich on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
All
They
right.
had
Just
that anger. They had the anger going on then, and like seemed like the
Mhm.
mind crime stuff was a little too much for me. But I
okay.
like the older stuff from them.
All right. Just a few more. Slayer.
Ooh, probably Rain and Blood.
Okay. And Kiss.
Ooh, yeah, Destroyer. I'm gonna go with Destroyer.
Okay. And the last one, King Diamond.
In Fate or
Well, yeah, sure.
King-
I'll Merciful Fate
Thank you
or
for the
King Diamond.
solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what's the Melissa record? Is that what it's
Melissa,
called?
yeah.
Yeah, I like
Some
that.
of the coolest art, man. It's got that
Yeah.
that skull with the whatever fire lava
Yeah.
coming off the love it.
Nice. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Do you have a favorite book? And if so, what is that book?
Oh, I don't read much. Favorite book that I got a cookbook. I mean,
Hey.
that's probably it right
Counts.
there.
There you go.
What kind of cookbook is it?
How to Serve Man.
Cajun. It's Cajun food. I love Cajun food.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very cool. Who's your favorite cartoon character?
Ooh, I got a lot of them. I'm gonna the Coyote. Probably the Coyote.
Oh, Wile E. Coyote. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Cool.
Which celebrity would you like most to have a drink with?
Oh,
It doesn't have to be music, movies, television. All celebrities are open here.
Bourdain. Yeah, I
Oh,
know
all right.
he's gone, but like,
Yeah.
man, that guy, I would just hang out with, for a day with that dude. Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a way of prescribing food, and his love was beyond food, but also culture and people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the connection, the interconnection of that, and how you share your culture through food. He really got that.
Yep.
Yeah, and was eloquent. Good writer. What one song do you wish you had written and recorded instead of the group who actually did?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. That's a great question. I'd have to think about that.
Okay.
That's a new one he busted out.
yeah,
like
I know.
That.
I'm
It's a
trying
good
to-
one. That's
I'm-
a brand new
I know.
one.
I'm trying to bring out new questions all the time, man.
Yeah, our guests are
wish
used
you
to
guys
same monotonous
else-
questions from
Yeah,
Montag. So we
I
have to get a
wish
new
you
one.
three of you would also start sending me new questions.
I just ask him on the show. See, that's how I
Yeah,
operate.
come on, you
wing it.
cunts. Come
Wing
on,
it.
help.
All right, let's let's talk about your gear, Michael, because I know one of the things I know from following you and such is you do share an affinity for gear clearly by the wall of axes behind you, and I know you're a massive fan of your Kemper. When was the crossover specifically for you from the big clunky amplifier to, well, I guess you use a Kemper head or do you use a rack mount?
The The head it's a rack mount, but the head's in it.
Okay.
It's a powered one.
So when was the transition from like, you know, a dedicated guitar head to kind of the ampling, the amp modeling gear?
It was probably when we started doing these fly-in gigs. You know, it's still fairly new technology, I guess.
Mhm.
Maybe 7 years ago when we started
Okay.
taking flights. Because a lot of times we go over to Europe and you never know what you're going to get. You know, you ask for
Right, for the back line.
I play a boogie. You know, whenever I play something that's got tubes in it, it's a boogie, and I get something different every time, and then I have to deal
Right.
with it. And then so I was bringing pedals, and I was bringing my wireless and all this other stuff. And with the Kemper, I mean, it's already there. You know, everything's in that. It's 30 pounds, and it fits on the overhead in the planes. So
Right.
and then I just got lazy after that. I just started taking the tours and stuff. 'Cause nothing goes wrong with it. You know, you don't have to
Right.
calibrate anything or worry about somebody throwing it up on a case and your tubes getting shattered or
Right.
nothing. So yeah, and Kemper, I don't know. It's like one of the greatest things since we landed on the moon.
Yeah, they're impressive. They're impressive pieces of gear. Now, did you profile your own stuff, or did you just use things that were already built in?
I did. I used my tri-axis.
Okay,
So
that's cool. So you're getting your sound. You're getting, and that's what you use to track as well, correct? That's what we hear on the albums.
most of the time, yeah. But
Okay.
there's some other standard patches that come with it that are still killer. The Ula England patches are killer. STL tones, Synmix, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, tons of great tones.
that's cool, man. I know you're a believer, man. I see when I see people, you know, I seen those kids in Warhead all bought Kempers, and you're like, yeah, you like those things. You tried to get me a switch. I ain't switched. I still got my tubes. Which is I'm probably going to switch now because there's only one place to get tubes from anymore, and tube prices are about to be through the roof. So looking like we're all going the way of the modeler. But there, see, I helped Montag. Don't call me no non-helper.
Well, I meant in general terms, like sending questions my way. I mean, everyone reacts and stuff while we're doing the show, but yes, no, I get it. I
know what you meant, Montag.
Yes, it's okay. My shoulders can bear the burden of this.
Or Montag.
God. Yeah, the shit's getting deeper, my friend.
Yeah, I know. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, I'm trying to bring into questions. You know, we want to keep it interesting. You know,
Sure, absolutely.
He just grabbed an axe off the wall there.
That's
I was turning the lights on because I know I'm disappearing in the dark here. I got to go to my Alexa to do this right now.
that's
see, technology. Your Kemper
Wow.
should be able to do that for you.
That's true. There we go.
there we go.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Excellent. What kind of things are you watching on streaming services? Netflix, Hulu, Disney? Is there anything fun that you're watching? Anything you want to suggest?
No, I'm watching like other guitar players right now. Andy James, Jeff Loomis, just working on my chops, my COVID chops, I guess it would be. So that's pretty much all I do. I try to stay away from the news and like streaming, or if you're talking about Spotify, hard for me to get on board with that because I mean, you know what they pay.
Well, the artists aren't making any money.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's Bandcamp's such a better way to go for artists, you know, to be able to sell their music that way, you know. What one creative endeavor are you most proud of?
Yeah, it is overall probably
It could be anything.
band. I mean, I'm super proud of the band and the work that we've done over the years, and especially now, like we're older and our last record, it seems like our last records are getting better, and so I'm just I'm sold on the new lineup. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's the best lineup that we've ever had.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, this last album.
I'm probably the most proud of our last record.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a
phenomenal
solid
record.
trajectory, man. Not many bands can pull that off either. So
I mean,
Sure.
doing like your best
full
music
pride.
35 years into your career, and
Right.
you're doing some of the best music you've ever done. That's gotta feel amazing for you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm super proud of that.
Wow, that's great. Now this question came all the way from Dreadbull back when I was doing the last round of semi questions. Looking back on your career, what is your biggest regret, if any?
Oh man. It's all the different logo changes. I've thought this out pretty well. Instead of having one logo throughout the years, we've had like 5 or 6. If you're branding your band, make sure you keep that to one. So people,
Right.
I mean, all the variants of it, I think is very confusing.
Cool.
We've had like lineup changes and stuff like that. That's kind of confusing too. But when it starts affecting the brand and, so right now we're trying to just get back to the skull. It doesn't have to say Flotsam, but I want people to recognize the skull. So you'll see a lot
Right.
of classic skull coming back.
Yeah, I love your guys' mascot, Flotzilla. That's fantastic. Especially on
angry
the blood
lizard.
water cover. That's just so cool how he's creeping right through there. It's a great cover.
Yeah, that's interesting. You talk about logos and stuff. I mean, when you think of a metal band, you say Iron Maiden and that iconic, that one of a kind sort of font that Iron Maiden has, or you say Testament, you see that logo, Metallica, like you're right, man, that is super important. And because it's the first thing that pops into your head when you hear a band name, is that logo or some cool art or a mascot, whatever.
Yeah, the band name's always been it's just a little weird for people to hear. The first time you tell somebody, they always go, "What?" No, it's Flotsam and Jetsam. What? It takes a bit, because it's not a common word or common words, but the
Right.
meaning of it and stuff like that's still pretty cool. So, that's tough too. You always want to have a name your band, so it comes off audible for people, and they don't have to say what, or how to spell it or anything like that. That's why the skull, trying to stick with the skull being the brand.
Yeah, it's excellent.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going to do something now we call blast beats. It's going to be a lot less painful than a hot seat for you. But I'm going to give you a series of choices just real quick, and you just answer them as quickly as possible. All right. Hot dog or hamburger?
Hot dog.
Ketchup or mustard?
Mustard.
Your favorite pizza topping?
Jalapenos.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Paperback or Kindle?
Paperback.
PC or Apple?
Apple.
Movie theater or streaming?
Theater.
Your favorite holiday?
Is Halloween a holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Alright.
everybody's answer.
Yeah, so far it's
I
pretty
think
much.
every
Yeah,
guest has answered.
yeah, it's been Halloween. Yeah. Your favorite ice cream flavor?
Reese's.
Oh, nice.
Cups or
Pieces or cups,
pieces.
right?
I don't think we have time for the debate.
Dog or cat?
If any, it would be a dog. Definitely not a cat.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
All right, Avengers or Justice League? I guess that kind of answers you're an Avengers fan, I would think. If you had to pick the two, Avengers or Justice League?
But I don't know. I not super schooled on the most recent stuff that's out. A little confusing with everything, but
Okay.
Avengers probably.
All right. So piggybacking on that, if you could be any superhero for 24 hours, who would you be, and what would you do with your day of power?
Day of power.
There's a new question.
Wow.
Day of
Brand-
power question.
Yeah, you're really proud of yourself. I can see that.
Someone's got to do this.
He's really
Every-
digging.
Wow, really dredging up some feelings right now. I can see.
As a kid, I always wanted to be Superman. I know that's off, but Superman. And now if I had those powers of Superman, I would go back and learn my chops on this thing the way I should have 30 years ago. Instead of reinventing my style.
You'd be really
Not a
lightning
very
fast.
meaty answer, but what's that?
Oh, hey,
You'd be really lightning fast as Superman then,
that's
Michael.
right.
Not if there's
Guitars.
not if those are kryptonite frets. You ain't gonna be
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, good one.
so we're all fans, as we've talked about, and you've mentioned you're fans of other artists as well. What is your favorite piece of memorabilia, if you have memorabilia? Maybe it's a concert shirt or autograph picture or something like that.
Oh, my SG up here. It's got like I said, everything's got a story, right? It's one of my favorite guitars. Last time Jason was at my house, which was, I don't know, it was probably during Ugly Noise. He was and he was playing that guitar. He broke the string, and I haven't touched it since. I haven't picked it up. So
Nice.
that's, he's my friend, and like the respect that he deserves, and what he's earned over the years. He's such a great person, and that's kind of my tribute to him. He always liked that guitar. Maybe I'll give it to him someday.
That's cool.
That's
Nice.
cool that you guys still hang out. Like I wasn't aware of that. Like
Mhm.
they still hang out. That's awesome, man. That's really cool that you maintained a friendship all the years later.
Yeah, we had chemistry, especially with songwriting. That's why he came back for Ugly Noise. Definitely chemistry going on.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
That's yeah, I was gonna.
Sorry.
I don't know.
I'm the derailer. That's why
No,
I'm the
no, no,
wild
no. I
card.
was just considering. No, I was just withdrawing a couple questions. I was like, no, I don't think I want to go down that. I don't want to stir up anything that
Oh,
lets
you're the
big dogs
feelings
lie.
drudger. The drudger. That's your new name.
The treasure. No, that's good, man. I don't want to get involved in any kind of politics here. I do want to play a fun game with you though, Michael. It's called Name That Festival. What we're going to do is your band, Flotsam and Jetsam, is playing a festival with two other artists, which we will find out who they are. So I'm going to spin the wheel of mystery to find those other two bands, and then I'd like you to name the festival that you're all playing at. So I'm just going to pull it up, and I'm going to share here. I'm going to share the screen. All right, so here we are. You can see the wheel. All right, so the first band that you are playing with is Erasure. All right. Yeah, 80s pop Erasure. There we go.
Okay.
And then one more. Flotsam and Jetsam,
Interesting.
Erasure. Yeah, very interesting. Oh,
Very eclectic
wait a
festival.
minute.
And Elvis.
Elvis. Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Elvis.
Name this festival?
Yeah. All three of you are playing this festival. Flotsam and Jetsam, Erasure, and Elvis. I'll let you decide the order that you go on.
Who headlines that?
Yeah, who's going to headline that one?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can I combine the two? Irrelvis? That's what comes. But where does Flotsam fit in on that?
Yeah,
That's
this is,
a
I mean,
toughie.
this is a tough one. We get it, man.
So it'd have to be ending with some sort of Zilla, probably. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Irrelvis, Zilla. It would be the Irrelvis Zilla show.
Relvis Zilla.
Irrelvis Zilla Fest, I guess.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
By hands down is the toughest question I've ever had.
That was
Nice. Yes.
a
Chuck one.
stumped him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yes, the mystery wheel, and it could have came up with all kinds of other things. You never know. That's nice. That's nice. So what are I know you're working on a new album, which is very exciting. Is there anything what more can you tell us about that? Or do you have other plans for this year to hit the road? What are your plans for 2022?
In June, I think it's June 1st, we're heading to Atlanta for Prog Metal Fest. And then after that, it's directly over to Europe to do the festival circuit. So this will be the first time that we've played Hellfest in France.
Oh,
It's
nice.
that's the Super Bowl pretty much.
Mhm.
So really looking forward to that. And I think we are playing with Sacred Reich that night too.
Oh,
So
awesome.
Wow.
it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been a Sacred Bike fan since I first heard Chemical Euphoria. That was just like, oh yeah, these guys at this rip set. Excellent. So how long? You said you're going to be in Europe. So how many festivals are you going to be doing? Or are you going to be coming back to the States after that, or do you know?
Yeah, we're going to come back and hopefully things will be opening up enough so we can start an American tour. That's what the goal is. Don't know who with yet. We're still working on it, and
Mhm.
it's shoddy with the venues, with vaccinations and cards
Sure.
and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Yeah.
but
It's
it
starting to
looks like
look-
that's changing.
Yeah, it's starting to look like maybe finally COVID is starting
Hopefully, a
to-
little hope in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we're getting this behind us at long last.
Yeah. Maybe. Mentioning your album, like, how do you choose an album's track order? We had talked about set lists and stuff, but when you're creating an album, like, what's the process that you go through to choose a new album's set list or a track order?
Well, right off the bat, the first 3 songs have to be like the most in your face ones. Because people don't have not attention span, I shouldn't say that, time to listen to a whole record like this, sit down and listen to it and just, vibe on it or whatever. Most people just don't have the time. So you put your best songs first, and hopefully that gets the attention. And then, hopefully you have something in the middle of the record that kind of brings people down for a little bit of a breath, and then end it with them wanting more. And that's like the formula for it. So that's how we try to arrange everything on whenever we're doing the arrangements on song order.
Okay. Do you have a celebrity bucket list? Like, I mean, you've met so many people, but is there like someone, it doesn't have to be in music, it could be TV, movies, anything. Is there someone like, yeah, this is like one person I'd really like to see sometime, someday?
I don't know. Like, I guess there's a lot of people I want to hang out with or to meet, but just to have one, like, dead or alive,
Yeah, anybody.
Bon Scott. That would have to be Bon Scott.
All right, nice. All right, gentlemen, do you have another question for Mr. Gilbert?
No, you took all my questions, so there you
Oh.
Yeah, you drudged up
Just took 'em all.
everything, you fucker.
Well, sorry. I guess I'll shut up the next time. Michael, do you have any questions for us?
No, just thanks for having me, man.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
a
no,
pleasure
thanks for
chatting with you
coming.
guys. It's
yeah,
fun,
thanks for
man.
coming. We've had a good time.
Absolute pleasure.
We want to be respectful of your time and not keep you for hours and hours, but we really do appreciate having you on and hope that that you've had a good time with us.
Oh, absolutely. Super
Excellent.
fun
Excellent.
interview, man. Super fun.
Oh, good. Would it be too much to ask you to do a bumper for us? This is Michael Gilbert of Flotsam and Jetsam, and you're watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror or something like that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Excellent. Thank you.
You ready now?
Yeah, we are ready.
Hey, this is Michael Gilbert from Flotsam and Jetsam, and you're watching Heavy Metal Horror.
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, we're going to do our commercial and we're going to get out of here, and then we're going to invite you to join us with the horns as we say Heavy Metal Horror. All right, you can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com, listen to full episodes, or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our YouTube page, which is, if you're watching, you're right there, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you know someone about who'd like our show, tell them about us. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
Chop top.
Dreadbull.
Wildcard.
And you've been watching and listening to Time for the Horns, Michael.
Heavy.
Heavy Metal Horror.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.